Hello, welcome back to another video. I'm Madeline. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe down below, like, comment. And today I thought we'd be going over all of the books that I read over winter break in quarantine. So I've had a lot of time on my hands, as you can tell by this giant stack of books that I have in front of me. I read 6 books over break. And I just started another one. These are in no particular order. It's just the order that I read them in, because I thought that'd be most convenient. My style of book is all over the place. I will read anything if it's good. So I've got some sci-fi in here, some adventure, some self-help, some nonfiction, some autobiographies, some short stories, and some fantasy. Yeah, it's all over the place. But we like variety here. So the first book I read is Armada. It is by Ernest Cline. I believe it's his second series. He's the same person who wrote Ready Player One, which I've also read, which is excellent. I know that they just came out with Ready Player 2, or maybe they came out with it a couple years ago, but I just found out about it. And so I'm gonna read that. The movie, you don't need to watch the movie. The movie's not the best. This book is very nerdy. It's about this boy who plays video games and then learns that the government is training people to fight a real alien invasion through the video game, which is actually a simulator. So if you're into video games, into nerdy pop culture, there's a lot of pop culture references in all of Ernest Cline's books. This is for you. Very, very good book. Very exciting. The second book I read was You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. I also read her book You Are a Badass, and the first half of this book I wasn't too into, just because it talked more about having a good relationship with money and allowing yourself to want money, which I feel like I don't really have a problem with, because I don't know, I just always had a good relationship with money, I guess. But the second part is allowing yourself to go after what you want, giving yourself permission to go after your dreams and take that next step to following your career path and making that money. So I felt like that was much more helpful and applied better to me and where I am in my life. So if you are somebody who has a complicated relationship with money, or just needs that push to allow yourself to take that leap, this is a good book for you. I know she has a bunch of other books that are in the same vein of just do the thing, but I like it. It's very funny. Does have some swear words in it, so if you're younger, maybe consider that, but it's very funny. The next book I read was My Friend Anna, which I've heard about like last summer, a few summers ago, and it's the true story of a fake heiress. It's about this girl who lived in New York City, and her friend cons her into $30,000 to like $70,000, and at first they're just going all to these extravagant dinners and extravagant workouts, and then they go on this vacation, and then there's like the whole debacle. And this book was very good. It is a true story, which I found very interesting, but I would not read it if you're stressed out. Like, I'm so glad I read this book over break, because if I was trying to read it along with doing my schoolwork, I would have been so stressed, because the whole time you know that she's getting conned and that this girl is just going to take more and more money from her, and you're just like, it's like a horror movie. You're like, just don't do it. Like, don't walk into the basement. Like, just turn around. Don't be stupid. Come on. You can see what's happening, but like, she couldn't. She was just so invested in her friendship, and yeah, it was like a realistic money horror movie, because you're just watching her do all the wrong things and you're like, oh no, it's just going bad. So that part was stressful. Very good storyline. I liked it just because it was interesting, because it was a true story, but it's also amazing how this person convinced people that she had this much money to begin with and lived like the Blair Waldorf lifestyle, which is insane. Like, people do that, like, what? But excellent recommend. It also looks super cute in my bookshelf, so I like the color. The next book I got was Blowing My Way to the Top. My boyfriend gave this to me for Christmas, and it's about Jen Atkins. It's her autobiography about her journey into the beauty industry, coming from a Mormon upbringing, learning how to survive on her own in LA, and moving up the social chain as well as her work career and developing that. And now she's super successful, has multiple lines, owns Way, has a hair website, works with a ton of celebrities. So it's just very cool of seeing her journey and the lessons that she learned along the way. So if you're into beauty, fashion, celebrities, anything like that, this is self-help. I guess it's self-help because it's telling you about your career, and also it's very encouraging. Like, this book will inspire you to go after the thing. I feel like we have a thread with like this and like You Are Badass at Making Money. Like, I feel like these are like in the same vein, but these are also in the same vein because they're true stories. So I like how everything just ties together. Like, my little got this for me for Christmas. It's Paris for One and Other Stories by Jojo Moyes. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. This is such a cute book. This is like a nice, it literally says it's like a nice little weekend read. And it honestly is, because it's simple to read, it's cute, it's funny, it's got a little bit of romance. It's only like 200 pages for the full, like for the Paris story, and then there's a couple of short stories at the end which are just interesting and funny to read. So very relaxing, a good poolside book. And, you know, big Emily in Paris vibes, which I loved that show, so this was so much fun to relive that. Yes, in it, this English girl goes to Paris with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend never shows up, so she has to figure out how to survive in Paris for the weekend by herself. The next book I read was Shadow and Bone of the Grisha Verse, that's hard to say, my gosh, by Leigh Bardugo. I know that she writes a ton of books. I know she wrote this as well as Six of Crows, which I have yet to read, but I've also heard that that's very good. This is Sean's copy. I recommended to him Six of Crows even though I haven't read it yet, and then he read that, liked it so much that he bought this series, and this is the first one. I haven't read the second one yet. I'm getting it from him this weekend. So good. Like, I have not had a good fantasy book in so long. And it just like, it creates this whole world. There's witches and magic and adventure and like good fighting evil and plot twists, and I love that. I finished this in 3 days. All these other books took me like 2 weeks to finish. I read this in 3 days, if that tells you anything. But it was very good. Highly recommend for anybody who likes any sort of magic or fantasy. Yeah, I definitely want to read the whole series and then read her other books too. I'm definitely hooked and I'm now a fan. You're like, this is my nerdy side. I love books. I have way too many bookshelves in my room. But like, I have this dream to have a library in my house. Like, just have to have a big library, like a small library, like maybe a study, but like it's all library books. It's full of books, like Beauty and the Beast style would be so nice. Be so comforting. Just to curl up there. Okay, those are all the books that I've read. This book is the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It is, I believe, a prequel to the Hunger Games series, so by Suzanne Collins. If you liked the Hunger Games, I'm sure you'll like this, just to re-enter that world, even though it's a scary world, because sometimes we like living in it, although we live in a scary world right now anyway. Yeah, I haven't started it yet, but this is the next book on my list, so I'll let you guys know how I like it once I do get into it. And yeah, those are all the books that I read over break and will continue to read. So thank you so much if you watched the end of this video, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!